welcome His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Cyprus, Mr. Nikos Christodoulides. Please be aware that there is no fire alarm test scheduled for this evening. In the event of fire, the alarm will not sound, but Guildhall security will enter the room and advise everyone to make their way to their nearest fire exit, assembling in the yard. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ioanna Solomonides, and I'm the Vice Chair of the Youth Committee of Cyprus in the City and a member of its Executive Committee, and I will be your Master of Ceremony for this evening. It is my pleasure to welcome you to tonight's event, Minds in Cyprus, an initiative of the Government of the Republic of Cyprus dedicated to attracting talented Cypriot professionals to return and contribute to the country's ongoing transformation. Tonight, we will find out what a return back home could look like. We will hear real stories, understand what's driving Cyprus forward, and you will have the opportunity to find out how your skills and aspirations might align with the opportunity available in our island. Let us begin this exciting evening with welcoming remarks from two individuals who are key stakeholders of our community in Cyprus and in the UK. First, I'd like to invite Mr. Evgenios Evgeniou, Chairman of Invest Cyprus, to share his welcoming remarks.
Καλησπέρα. Εξοχότατε Πρόεδρε της Κυπριακής Δημοκρατίας, αξιότιμοι Υπουργοί, αξιότιμοι είπατε αρμοστοί, εκλεκτοί προσκεκλημένοι, αγαπητοί φίλες και φίλοι. Είναι με μεγάλη χαρά που βρίσκομαι μαζί σας στην πόλη όπου σπούδασα και όπως πολλοί από εσάς ξεκίνησα την επαγγελματική μου σταδιοδρομία. Για να σας καλωσορίσω στη σημερινή εκδήλωση με διοργανωτές το Κυπριακό Εμπορικό και Βιομηχανικό Επιμελητήριο και τον Invest Cyprus για την έναρξη του Minds in Cyprus, μιας εθνικής στρατηγικής υπό την ηγεσία του Πρόεδρου Χριστοδουλίδη. Ο Invest Cyprus, ο Εθνικός Οργανισμός Επενδύσεων, διαδραματίζει καθοριστικό ρόλο στην προσέλκυση και διευκόλυνση των ξένων επενδύσεων και λειτουργεί ως το σημείο επαφής για ξένες επιχειρήσεις και επενδυτές στην Κύπρο. Οι ξένες επενδύσεις αποτελούν βασικό πυλώνα της οικονομικής ανάπτυξης της χώρας μας, τη δημιουργία νέων θέσεων εργασίας και την ανάπτυξη νέων τομέων οικονομικής δραστηριότητας. Το 2023 ήταν χρονιά σταθμός για την Κύπρο, με 3,2 δισεκατομμύρια ξένες επενδύσεις, αύξηση 129% σε σχέση με το προηγούμενο χρόνο και δημιουργία 2.500 νέων θέσεων εργασίας. Το 2024, 440 εταιρείες εγκαταστάθηκαν στην Κύπρο, δημιουργώντας περισσότερες από 1.500 νέες θέσεις εργασίας. Είναι σημαντικό πως οι ξένες εταιρείες που εγκαταστάθηκαν συνεχίζουν να μεγαλώνουν και να έχουν ανάγκες σε ανθρώπινο δυναμικό. Η χώρα μας κατατάσσεται στη δεύτερη θέση της Ευρωπαϊκής Ένωσης σε ξένες επενδύσεις κατά κεφαλή και συγκαταλέγεται στις 10 πρώτες παγκοσμίως. Η οικονομική πρόβλεψη της Ευρωπαϊκής Ένωσης για την Κύπρο, που δημοσιεύθηκε πριν από 3 μέρες, προβλέπει συνεχιζόμενη οικονομική ανάπτυξη 3% για το 2025 και 2,5% για το 2026, κατατάσσοντας την Κύπρο στην πρώτη τετράδα στην Ευρωπαϊκή Ένωση. Η πρόβλεψη της Ευρωπαϊκής Ένωσης σημειώνει τις συνθήκες πλήρους απασχόλησης και τη θετική δημοσιονομική προοπτική, με το χρέος ως ποσοστό του ΑΕΠ να υποχωρεί κάτω από το 60% μέχρι το τέλος του χρόνου. Η έκθεση επίσης υπογραμμίζει τον μετασχηματισμό της κυπριακής οικονομίας και προβλέπει ισχυρές επενδύσεις σε νέους τομείς όπως η τεχνολογία. Ο τομέας της τεχνολογίας συνεισφέρει σήμερα άμεσα και έμμεσα το 14% του ΑΕΠ της Κύπρου και σύμφωνα με πρόσφατη έκθεση στηρίζει περισσότερες από 62.000 θέσεις εργασίας. Ένα οικοσύστημα που δημιουργήθηκε τα τελευταία χρόνια. Αυτά τα στοιχεία αναδεικνύουν τη θέση της Κύπρου ως αναδυόμενο περιφερειακό κόμβο για την τεχνολογία, τις χρηματοοικονομικές τεχνολογίες, fintech, το gaming και φυσικά την ναυτιλία, τις χρηματοοικονομικές υπηρεσίες, την εκπαίδευση και το business process outsourcing. Επιπλέον, η Κύπρος είναι ανάμεσα στους 10 κορυφαίους καινοτόμους της Ευρωπαϊκής Ένωσης και η μόνη χώρα της Νότιας Ευρώπης που κατατάσσεται ως ισχυρός καινοτόμος, strong innovator, διαθέτοντας ένα ελκυστικό ερευνητικό οικοσύστημα με 7 κέντρα αριστείας, 9 ερευνητικά κέντρα, 12 πανεπιστήμια, περισσότερους από 3.500 ερευνητές και το πιο γρήγορα αναπτυσσόμενο οικοσύστημα startup στην Ευρωπαϊκή Ένωση. Φίλες και φίλοι, τα τελευταία 3 χρόνια περισσότεροι από 15.000 ξένοι εξειδικευμένοι επαγγελματίες εγκαταστάθηκαν στην Κύπρο. Επέλεξαν τη χώρα μας για να ζήσουν και για να εργαστούν. Μήπως ήρθε η ώρα να το σκεφτείτε κι εσείς? Η πρωτοβουλία του Προέδρου Χριστοδουλίδη να σας προσκαλέσει να συμβάλλετε στη διαμόρφωση του μέλλοντος της Κύπρου έρχεται σε μια δυναμική περίοδο για τη χώρα μας, με ισχυρή ανάπτυξη, αυξανόμενες ξένες επενδύσεις, την οικονομία στην κατηγορία Α, συνθήκες πλήρους απασχόλησης, ανάπτυξη νέων τομέων οικονομικής δραστηριότητας και ενισχυμένο γεωπολιτικό αποτύπωμα. Το Invest Cyprus αποτελεί ένα αποφασιστικό βήμα στην αξιοποίηση του δυναμικού των Κυπρίων παγκοσμίως για τη δημιουργία ενός καλύτερου μέλλοντος. Απόψε θα ακούσετε τις ιστορίες Κυπρίων που επέστρεψαν, θα ανακαλύψετε τις νέες εξελίξεις που μετασχηματίζουν την κυπριακή οικονομία, θα ενημερωθείτε για το υποστηρικτικό πλαίσιο που έχει θεσπιστεί για όσους σκέφτονται την επιστροφή και θα συνδεθείτε με τις 20 εταιρείες που ήρθαν εδώ για να σας γνωρίσουν, τις οποίες και θέλω να ευχαριστήσω για την παρουσία τους. Επίσης θέλω να ευχαριστήσω και το Cypriots in the City για τη στήριξή τους και φυσικά όλους τους ομιλητές. Το Invest Cyprus δεν είναι ένα πρόγραμμα. Είναι μια μακροπρόθεσμη εθνική στρατηγική. Μια στρατηγική που αντικατοπτρίζει τη δέσμευση του Προέδρου και της κυβέρνησης να επανασυνδεθεί μαζί σας, τα μυαλά της Κύπρου στο εξωτερικό και να σας ζητήσει να συμμετάσχετε στη διαμόρφωση του αύριο της πατρίδας μας. Θέλω εκ μέρους και του φίλου Προέδρου του ΚΕΒΕ να σας ευχαριστήσω που είστε σήμερα μαζί μας. Σας καλώ να σκεφτείτε πως η δική σας προσωπική ιστορία μπορεί να γίνει μέρος του επόμενου κεφαλαίου της ιστορίας της χώρας μας. Σας ευχαριστώ πολύ.
Thank you, Mr. Eugeniu, for your words and for your ongoing leadership in driving foreign investment and innovation in Cyprus at Invest Cyprus. Next, please welcome Mr. Fanos Theophanous, co-founder and president of Cyprus in the City, who will deliver welcome remarks on behalf of our community here in the UK.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Cyprus, honorable ministers, High Commissioner, distinguished guests, fellow Cypriots, it is with immense pride and a deep sense of purpose that I welcome you tonight on behalf of Cypriots in the City to this landmark gathering, the Minds in Cyprus initiative. For too long, Cyprus has faced the challenge of brain drain, the loss of brilliant minds, skilled professionals, and ambitious young talent seeking opportunities beyond the shores of our island. But tonight marks a turning point. This initiative, led by the government of Cyprus, is not just a call to action, it is a homecoming. A recognition that the future of Cyprus lies not only in those who remain, but in those of us around the world who carry Cyprus in our hearts and are ready to bring our expertise back to our homeland. Your presence here, Mr. President and honorable ministers, sends a powerful message that Cyprus values its diaspora, that our skills are needed, and that together we can reverse the brain drain into a brain gain. The United Kingdom has long been home to Cypriots. From finance to technology, medicine to law, entrepreneurship to academia, and the arts to engineering, our community here thrives as a testament to what Cypriots can achieve on the global stage. But imagine what we can achieve for Cyprus if we channel that same energy, innovation and ambition back home. The Minds in Cyprus initiative is our opportunity to reconnect, reinvest and reignite the boundless potential of our country. Cyprus is at crossroads. With emerging industries, a growing tech ecosystem and a vision for a knowledge-based economy, the time to act is now. Whether through returning permanently, collaborating remotely, mentoring the next generation, or investing in Cyprus's future, each of us in this room has a role to play. Usually, we gather to celebrate Cyprus's heritage. Tonight, though it's different, we gather to commit to Cyprus's legacy. Let us pledge to be the generation that brings Cyprus the talent, the ideas, and the drive it deserves. President Christodoulides, thank you for believing in us and for launching this fantastic campaign with us here in the heart of the vibrant city of London. Καλώς ήρθατε στο Λονδίνο με την ευχή απόψινή βραδιά να αποτελέσει την απαρχή ενός ξεχωριστού ταξιδιού για τον κάθε Κύπρο της Διασποράς. Ευχαριστώ.
Thank you, Πάνω, for that powerful message, and indeed let's hope that tonight is the start of something extraordinary. It is now my honor to introduce His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Cyprus, Mr. Nikos Christodoulides, who will present the government's new action plan for the repatriation of talent and share the vision of his government for Minds in Cyprus.
Κυρίες και κύριοι, φίλες και φίλοι, καλώς ορίσατε. Η παρουσία σας ξεπέρασε κάθε προσδοκία μας. Κανείς από εμάς δεν περίμενε αυτή τη μαζική παρουσία. Θέλω να απολογηθώ για την καθυστέρηση. Ήμουν σε συνάντηση με τον Βρετανό Πρωθυπουργό. Να ξεκινήσω εκφράζοντας την ιδιαίτερη μου χαρά για την διοργάνωση της σημερινής εκδήλωσης και επαναλαμβάνω την μαζική σας παρουσία. Η ανταπόκρισή σας από την πρώτη στιγμή που ανακοινώσαμε την πρόθεσή μας για να αναπτύξουμε μια πρωτοβουλία για επαναπατρισμό συμπατριωτών μας που διαπρέπουν στο εξωτερικό μέχρι και την σημερινή μαζική εκδήλωση εδώ στο Λονδίνο ξεπέρασε και τις πιο αισιόδοξες μας προσδοκίες με τα μηνύματα, με τις εισηγήσεις και κυρίως σήμερα με την μαζική σας παρουσία εδώ αποδεικνύεται από τη μια την ορθότητα της απόφασής μας, αλλά πολύ περισσότερο ότι η πατρίδα μας, η Κύπρος, είναι πάντοτε στις σκέψεις σας. Κύπροι από όλο το Ηνωμένο Βασίλειο και όχι μόνο, επαγγελματίες, ερευνητές, επιχειρηματίες, επικοινώνησαν μαζί μας, μοιράστηκαν τις εμπειρίες τους, μας είπαν την δική τους ιστορία και μας έκαναν εισηγήσεις για το πώς να προχωρήσουμε. Από νέους επαγγελματίες στον τομέα της χρηματοοικονομικής τεχνολογίας μέχρι καταξιωμένους γιατρούς, νομικούς, ακαδημαϊκούς, από Κύπριους δεύτερης γενιάς που είναι περήφανοι για την καταγωγή τους, μέχρι και νέους τρίτης γενιάς που ανακαλύπτουν ξανά τις ρίζες τους. Η συμβολή σας λοιπόν ήταν ουσιαστική και καθοριστική. Το σχέδιο δράσης που παρουσιάζουμε απόψε είναι αποτέλεσμα και της δικής σας συνεισφοράς. Εξάλλου, οι γενικότερες σας εισηγήσεις διαμορφώνουν τον τρόπο με τον οποίο σχεδιάζουμε την πολιτική συνολικά και εργαζόμαστε με ένα και μοναδικό στόχο: να αλλάξουμε τη χώρα μας. Για εμάς, για τη διακυβέρνησή μας, η πρωτοβουλία Invest Cyprus είναι μια εθνική αποστολή, μια αποστολή η οποία γεννήθηκε από την αναγνώριση πως το πολυτιμότερο κεφάλαιο της χώρας μας είναι το ανθρώπινο του δυναμικό. Και τους τελευταίους μήνες μας αποδείξατε ότι όλοι εσείς είστε από τους πιο ισχυρούς, αν θέλετε, υποστηριχτές της Κύπρου που όλοι οραματιζόμαστε. Μιας πατρίδας που αλλάζει, μια πατρίδα που εξελίσσεται στη βάση συγκεκριμένου πλάνου και σχεδιασμού, με όραμα αλλά και προοπτική. Ένα όραμα που τοποθετεί στο επίκεντρό του τις μεταρρυθμίσεις, την αξιοκρατία, τη συνεχή λογοδοσία, την κουλτούρα αξιολόγησης και φυσικά την σαφή προσήλωση στα αποτελέσματα. Ένα όραμα που δεν μένει στη θεωρία. Μεταφράζεται σε ένα δομημένο πλέγμα πολιτικών, αποτυπωμένο μέσα από την καινοτομία του ετήσιου προγραμματισμού που εισαγάγαμε κάθε αρχή του έτους, να παρουσιάζουμε τις πολιτικές που θα υιοθετήσουμε και που η πρόοδος του, η πρόοδος υλοποίησης της κάθε πολιτικής παρακολουθείται και αξιολογείται συνεχώς και στο τέλος του χρόνου μέσω του ετήσιου απολογισμού διακυβέρνησης. Στόχος μας είναι η διεύρυνση της παραγωγικής βάσης της οικονομίας μας, ένας σύγχρονος δημόσιος τομέας, ψηφιακά εργαλεία τόσο για τους πολίτες όσο και για τις επιχειρήσεις μας, καλύτερα σχολεία και νοσοκομεία, απλοποίηση των γραφειοκρατικών διαδικασιών και στοχευμένες επενδύσεις που στηρίζουν την βιώσιμη ανάπτυξη στη χώρα μας. Η Κύπρος μετασχηματίζεται σε μια οικονομία βασισμένη στη γνώση και στην καινοτομία. Τα στοιχεία άλλωστε μιλούν από μόνα τους. Όπως ανέφερε προηγουμένως ο Ευγένιος, ο τομέας των τεχνολογιών πληροφορικής και επικοινωνιών συμβάλλει κατά 14% του ΑΕΠ της χώρας μας. Ένα εντυπωσιακό ποσοστό που αντανακλά επίσης την επιτυχία της στρατηγικής μας να προσελκύσουμε και να διατηρούμε εταιρείες υψηλής προστιθέμενης αξίας. Οι μισθοί στη χώρα μας αυξάνονται σταθερά, τόσο σε ονομαστικούς όσο και σε πραγματικούς όρους. Μάλιστα η χώρα μας, η Κύπρος, συγκαταλέγεται μεταξύ των χωρών της Ευρωπαϊκής Ένωσης με τις υψηλότερες αυξήσεις σε πραγματικούς μισθούς τα τελευταία 3 χρόνια. Η ανεργία βρίσκεται σε ιστορικά χαμηλά επίπεδα. Από το 2008 το ποσοστό απασχόλησης των νέων αυξάνεται και ο αριθμός των διαθέσιμων θέσεων εργασίας σε βασικούς τομείς συνεχίζει να μεγαλώνει. Ενδεικτικά να αναφέρω ότι η ανεργία σήμερα είναι στο 4,9% και ο αριθμός των κενών θέσεων εργασίας, για να δώσω μόνο ένα παράδειγμα, στους τεχνολογικούς τομείς έχει αυξηθεί κατά 37% από το 2022 μέχρι το 2024. Οι παραγωγικές ξένες επενδύσεις στη χώρα μας παρουσιάζουν σταθερή ανωδική πορεία. Μόνο τα τελευταία 3 χρόνια η χώρα μας έχει προσελκύσει σημαντικό αριθμό ισχυρών διεθνών επιχειρήσεων τεχνολογίας και χρηματοοικονομικών υπηρεσιών, επιβεβαιώνοντας και την αξιοπιστία της αλλά και το δυναμικό του κυπριακού οικοσυστήματος. Η ανταπόκριση των ξένων επενδυτών κατά τη διάρκεια του πρόσφατου ταξιδιού μας στις Ηνωμένες Πολιτείες ξεπέρασε κάθε προσδοκία μας και οφείλω να ομολογήσω πως ένιωσα ιδιαίτερη ικανοποίηση βλέποντας και την εικόνα της χώρας μας να βελτιώνεται, την αναγνωρισιμότητά της να ενισχύεται και τη φήμη και την αξιοπιστία της να αναβαθμίζεται. Και όλα αυτά ως αποτέλεσμα και της συστηματικής προσπάθειας που κάνουμε για τον αναγκαίο επαναπροσδιορισμό της χώρας μας, αυτή την προσπάθεια που καταβάλουμε σε διεθνές επίπεδο να επανασυστήσουμε την Κύπρο. Φίλες και φίλοι, η διεύρυνση του παραγωγικού μας μοντέλου ενισχύεται και από ένα μακροοικονομικό περιβάλλον σταθερότητας, ανάπτυξης και διεθνούς εμπιστοσύνης. Το ένα δεν μπορεί να υπάρξει χωρίς το άλλο. Η οικονομία μας έχει καταγράψει ισχυρή ανάπτυξη τα τελευταία χρόνια, επιδεικνύοντας αξιοσημείωτη ανθεκτικότητα παρά την γεωπολιτική αστάθεια, με δύο πολέμους να βρίσκονται σε εξέλιξη, αλλά και τις οικονομικές προκλήσεις σε παγκόσμιο επίπεδο. Το 2024 η κυπριακή οικονομία αναπτύχθηκε κατά 3,4%, ένα από τα υψηλότερα ποσοστά ανάπτυξης στην Ευρωπαϊκή Ένωση, και αν δούμε τους ρυθμούς ανάπτυξης σε ισχυρές οικονομίες της Ευρωζώνης, θα δείτε τη μεγάλη διαφορά με την κατάσταση πραγμάτων στην χώρα μας. Η επίδοση αυτή, η οποία διατηρείται σε αντίστοιχα επίπεδα και κατά το πρώτο τρίμηνο του 2025, αποδεικνύει και τη σταθερότητα αλλά και την δυναμική της κυπριακής οικονομίας, επαναλαμβάνω, την ώρα που άλλες οικονομίες, άλλες χώρες της Ευρωζώνης αντιμετωπίζουν σοβαρότατες προκλήσεις και δυσκολίες. Την ίδια στιγμή η Κύπρος έχει σημειώσει σημαντική μείωση του δημόσιου χρέους, το οποίο έχει υποχωρήσει κάτω από το 66%. Θα φτάσουμε στο στόχο του 60% και σας καλώ και πάλι να συγκρίνετε με το δημόσιο χρέος άλλων χωρών που είναι σε τριψήφιους αριθμούς. Η μείωση που παρατηρεί το δημόσιο χρέος της χώρας μας είναι μία από τις μεγαλύτερες μειώσεις από όλα τα κράτη-μέλη της Ευρωπαϊκής Ένωσης και, όσοι ήταν αναμενόμενο, αυτά τα επιτέγματα αναγνωρίζονται και διεθνώς, καθώς το 2024 η χώρα μας επανήλθε μετά από 13 χρόνια στην κατηγορία Α από όλους τους διεθνούς οίκους αξιολόγησης. Ξεκάθαρη δηλαδή ψήφος εμπιστοσύνης στη σταθερότητα, την προοπτική, αλλά και την υπεύθυνη διαχείριση της οικονομίας της χώρας μας. Είμαστε λοιπόν δικαιωματικά περήφανοι, αλλά φυσικά σε καμία απολύτως περίπτωση δεν επαναπαυόμαστε. Γνωρίζουμε ότι απομένουν πολλά ακόμα να γίνουν. Γι' αυτό, φίλες και φίλοι, συνεχίζουμε να επενδύουμε στην ενίσχυση της επιχειρηματικότητας στη χώρα μας με τον προωθούμενο φορολογικό μετασχηματισμό που θα ισχύσει από την 1η Ιανουαρίου του 2026, ο οποίος μεταξύ άλλων στοχεύει και στην ελάφρυνση των φορολογικών επιβαρύνσεων για τις κυπριακές επιχειρήσεις. Επίσης, με την αξιοποίηση εναλλακτικών χρηματοδοτικών εργαλείων, όπως το Κυπριακό Ταμείο Χρηματοδότησης Κεφαλαίου, αλλά και την προώθηση του σχεδιασμού για ίδρυση του Κυπριακού Οργανισμού Ανάπτυξης Επιχειρήσεων, ο οποίος θα λειτουργεί ως κεντρικός φορέας παραχώρησης και χρηματοδοτήσεων, αλλά και υποστηρικτικών υπηρεσιών προς τις κυπριακές επιχειρήσεις. Προχωρούμε με την ψηφιακή και την πράσινη μετάβαση της χώρας μας μέσω πρωτοβουλειών όπως τα έξυπνα ενεργειακά δίκτυα και ψηφιακές δημόσιες υπηρεσίες. Ειδικά στην ψηφιακή μετάβαση, να αναφέρω ως παραδείγματα την δημιουργία του ενιαίου κρατικού πόρταλ του gov.cy, αλλά και της εφαρμογής ψηφιακός πολίτης, την προώθηση της ψηφιακής ταυτότητας και της ηλεκτρονικής υπογραφής, καθώς και την εφαρμογή ολοκληρωμένων σχεδίων βιώσιμης αστικής κινητικότητας στην πόλη μας, στις πόλεις μας. Προχωρούμε με την εκπαίδευση, την έρευνα και την καινοτομία, με αναθεώρηση αναλυτικών προγραμμάτων, με ψηφιακές τάξεις, με έμφαση στα μαθήματα STEM, επέκταση των ολοήμερων σχολείων στη χώρα μας, διδασκαλία του επαγγελματικού προσανατολισμού από την 6η Δημοτικού, ενώ ταυτόχρονα ενισχύουμε σημαντικά την χρηματοδότηση για προγράμματα έρευνας και καινοτομίας. Στον τομέα της υγείας, με την διασφάλιση της βιωσιμότητας του Γενικού Συστήματος Υγείας στη χώρα μας, την αναβάθμιση της διακυβέρνησης αλλά και της εποπτείας των νοσοκομείων, αλλά και την υιοθέτηση ψηφιακών εργαλείων e-health. Επίσης, βασικές μεταρρυθμίσεις που αναβαθμίζουν την ποιότητα των προαναφερόμενων υπηρεσιών στον τομέα της υγείας, όπως η δημιουργία πανεπιστημιακών κλινικών, ο θεσμός του συνηγόρου του ασθενούς και η νέα εθνική στρατηγική για την ψυχική υγεία. Κυρίες και κύριοι, η Κύπρος έχει ήδη καταστεί προορισμός για ταλέντα. Πάνω από 35.000 επαγγελματίες υψηλής εξειδίκευσης από τρίτες χώρες και φυσικά χιλιάδες συμπατριώτες μας ζουν και εργάζονται σήμερα στην Κύπρο. Πολλοί σε τομείς όπως οι τεχνολογίες πληροφορικής και επικοινωνιών, η χρηματοοικονομική τεχνολογία, η φαρμακευτική βιομηχανία, η ιατρική και η τεχνολογία. Βρίσκονται στη χώρα μας επειδή πέραν του ήλιου και της θάλασσας, και έχει ιδιαίτερη σημασία ο ήλιος και η θάλασσα όταν βρισκόμαστε στο Λονδίνο, η χώρα μας προσφέρει ένα ανταγωνιστικό, ένα σταθερό, ποιοτικό, αλλά και ασφαλές περιβάλλον για να ζήσει, να εργαστεί και να αναπτυχθεί επαγγελματικά ένα άτομο. Το παραγωγικό μας μοντέλο έχει πλέον καταστεί δυναμικό, έχει διευρυνθεί και είναι προσανατολισμένο προς το μέλλον και θεμελιώνεται, το ανέφερε και προηγουμένως ο Ευγένιος, να το πω ξανά, έχει ιδιαίτερη σημασία πάνω σε ένα ισχυρό οικοσύστημα έρευνας και τεχνολογίας, πανεπιστήμια, κέντρα αριστείας και άλλα ερευνητικά κέντρα, νεοφυείς επιχειρήσεις και πολυεθνικές εταιρείες στην χώρα μας συνεργάζονται μεταξύ τους. Να αναφέρω ενδεικτικά ότι η Κύπρος συγκαταλέγεται ήδη μεταξύ των ισχυρά καινοτόμων κρατών στο European Innovation Scoreboard, ενώ κατατάσσεται στην 40η θέση παγκοσμίως στο οικοσύστημα νεοφυών επιχειρήσεων, σύμφωνα με την πιο πρόσφατη παγκόσμια κατάταξη, με ένα ρυθμό ανάπτυξης που φτάνει το 28%. Την ίδια στιγμή η πατρίδα μας αυξάνει και το διπλωματικό της αποτύπωμα τόσο σε περιφερειακό όσο και σε διεθνές επίπεδο. Είμαστε ένας αξιόπιστος εταίρος στην Ευρωπαϊκή Ένωση με ρόλο και λόγο στα τεκτενόμενα των Βρυξελών. Η χώρα μας αναγνωρίζεται ως πυλώνας ασφάλειας και σταθερότητας στην Ανατολική Μεσόγειο και την ευρύτερη Μέση Ανατολή, μια χώρα η οποία χτίζει με πράξεις και όχι με λόγια γέφυρες συνεργασίας και μετά από πολλά χρόνια γίνεται γνωστή σε διεθνές επίπεδο για θετικές ειδήσεις. Φίλες και φίλοι, μέσα στο πλαίσιο της συλλογιστικής που προανέφερα, ο επαναπατρισμός και η επανένταξη του κυπριακού ταλέντου είναι αναπόσπαστο μέρος του ευρύτερου μας σχεδιασμού για την εξέλιξη και το μέλλον της πατρίδας μας. Και ακριβώς γι' αυτό το λόγο είμαστε σήμερα εδώ, με όραμα, με συγκεκριμένο σχεδιασμό, για να σας παρουσιάσουμε το πλάνο μας. Το σχέδιο δράσης για τον επαναπατρισμό ταλέντου που παρουσιάζουμε σήμερα ανοίγει δρόμους επιστροφής, δημιουργίας και συμμετοχής και πρόκειται για ένα χάρτη πορείας, επαναλαμβάνω, με συγκεκριμένες δράσεις και σαφές χρονοδιάγραμμα υλοποίησης που στόχο έχουν να διευκολύνουν την επιστροφή των ανθρώπων μας, την επιστροφή όλων εσάς. Τι περιλαμβάνει λοιπόν στην πράξη το σχέδιο δράσης που έχουμε αναπτύξει? Πρόκειται για παρεμβάσεις σε 4 τομείς πολιτικής που έχουν ως στόχο να διευκολύνουν αλλά και να ενθαρρύνουν την επιστροφή των Κυπρίων του εξωτερικού στη χώρα μας. Πρώτον, ενισχύουμε τα φορολογικά κίνητρα για ένταξη στην αγορά εργασίας. Πιο συγκεκριμένα, διευρύνουμε τα κριτήρια και αυξάνουμε την οροφή της απαλλαγής φόρου για όσους έχετε παραμείνει στο εξωτερικό για 7 χρόνια μετά τις σπουδές σας, διευρύνοντας με αυτόν τον τρόπο τον κύκλο των δικαιούχων. Να διευκρινίσω εδώ ότι οι νέες ρυθμίσεις που έχουμε αποφασίσει θα λειτουργούν παράλληλα με το ισχύο καθεστώς απαλλαγής 50% για όσους διαμένουν εκτός Κύπρου για 15 ή και περισσότερα χρόνια. Δεύτερον, δημιουργούμε σχετική ψηφιακή πύλη, ένα ενιαίο σημείο πληροφόρησης για θέματα που αφορούν την απασχόληση, που αφορούν τη στέγαση, την εκπαίδευση, την υγεία, την επιχειρηματικότητα, τα διαθέσιμα χρηματοδοτικά εργαλεία και όλα αυτά που ενδιαφέρουν όσους σκέφτονται να επιστρέψουν στην Κύπρο. Ταυτόχρονα η πύλη δίνει τη δυνατότητα για υποβολή σχετικών ερωτημάτων και φυσικά υπάρχει online υποστήριξη. Τρίτον, συνδέουμε όλους εσάς με τις ευκαιρίες απασχόλησης στη χώρα μας. Μέσω μιας εξειδικευμένης πλατφόρμας αντιστοίχησης ταλέντου, συνδέουμε τις επιχειρήσεις στη χώρα μας με Κύπριους επαγγελματίες και επιστήμονες του εξωτερικού μέσω δημοσίευσης θέσεων εργασίας υψηλής εξειδίκευσης. Και τέταρτον, στηρίζουμε φυσικά την οικογενειακή επανένταξη, γιατί η επιστροφή, κακά τα ψέματα, δεν είναι μόνο απόφαση επαγγελματική, είναι απόφαση προσωπική, είναι απόφαση για κάποιους οικογενειακή. Περιλαμβάνονται λοιπόν και μέτρα όπως η επιταχυνόμενη πολιτογράφηση συζύγων, η πρόσβαση των παιδιών στην εκπαίδευση, ειδικά μαθήματα ελληνικής γλώσσας, αλλά και εργαλεία κοινωνικής ενσωμάτωσης για τις οικογένειες που επιλέγουν να επιστρέψουν στην Κύπρο. Το σχέδιο δράσης είναι αυτή τη στιγμή δημοσιευμένο στην ειδική ιστοσελίδα που δημιουργήθηκε για την πρωτοβουλία Invest Cyprus, η οποία φυσικά και θα ανανεώνεται συνεχώς. Φίλες και φίλοι, μαζί μας βρίσκονται απόψε εδώ ηγετικά στελέχη από μεγάλες επιχειρήσεις και κέντρα αριστείας της Κύπρου. Βρίσκονται συμπατριώτες μας σαν εσάς που επέλεξαν να επιστρέψουν στην Κύπρο. Βρίσκονται ξένοι που επένδυσαν στη χώρα μας, επαγγελματίες που βιώνουν την Κύπρο που αλλάζουμε. Και δεν είναι απλώς παρόντες, είναι εδώ γιατί αναζητούν ταλέντα όπως όλους εσάς. Το μήνυμα που μας μεταφέρουν είναι ξεκάθαρο. Ναι, χρειάζονται δεξιότητες, εμπειρία, τεχνογνωσία, περισσότερο κυπριακό ταλέντο που διαπρέπει στο εξωτερικό. Ψάχνουν ανθρώπους που βλέπουν την Κύπρο και ως επαγγελματικό προορισμό, αλλά και ως τόπο ζωής, ταυτότητας, ασφάλειας και προοπτικής. Γι' αυτό, το επαναλαμβάνω κυρίες και κύριοι, η Κύπρος αλλάζει και σας χρειάζεται όλους εσάς. Είτε επιλέξετε την επιστροφή σας, είτε επιλέξετε να συνεισφέρετε από όπου και αν βρίσκεστε, η συμβολή σας για εμάς και την Κύπρο μας έχει ιδιαίτερη σημασία. Σας ευχαριστώ λοιπόν μέσα από την καρδιά μου για την μαζική σας παρουσία, τη στήριξη αλλά και την πίστη σας στην πατρίδα μας. Σας ευχαριστώ που είστε σήμερα εδώ, που πιστεύετε σε μια Κύπρο με τεράστιες προοπτικές και ανυπομονώ να συνομιλήσω με όλους εσάς, να ακούσω τις σκέψεις σας, τις απόψεις σας, την κριτική σας, τις εισηγήσεις σας, τους όποιους προβληματισμούς σας. Σας καλώ στη χώρα μας να την αλλάξουμε μαζί με όλους εσάς ως πρωταγωνιστές. Σας ευχαριστώ πολύ.
Thank you, Mr. President, for your insightful and inspiring speech. Your vision and commitment in engaging Cyprus's global talent is truly motivating for the diaspora. We now move on into our first panel discussion of the evening, titled Changing Cyprus, New Horizons for Talent and Enterprise. This panel will be moderated by Ms. Lia Riris, Deputy Director General of Invest Cyprus, and will explore the evolving economic landscape of Cyprus and the opportunities being created for professionals and entrepreneurs alike. Joining her on this panel are Ms. Irini Piki, Deputy Minister to the President of the Republic of Cyprus. Ms. Stavros Stavru, President, Cyprus Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Mr. Andrew Bird, CEO, Remedica. Ms. Joanna Carlin, Executive Director, Global Head of Talent Acquisition at MUFG Investor Services. Mr. Michalis Haralambidis, CEO of EcomBX. Mr. Dimitrios Zopos, co-founder of 33 East. Please welcome them all to the stage.
Thank you. Thank you, Anna. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for joining us on this panel this evening. So, we've just heard a clear and ambitious plan from the President. However, turning the plan into results requires actions. So this panel is about what comes next and how. We will also explore, through the help of the panelists, how Cyprus can attract its people back and also empower them to stay. And who more relevant to kick off this conversation than our Deputy Minister? Ms. Biggie, the responsibility now shifts to implementation, which falls, of course, under your coordination. Could you please share with us the immediate next steps in bringing this strategy to life?
Thank you very much, everybody. Thanks for being here tonight with us. Thank you also to the more than 300 people watching us online through the live link. I'm sure coming here, everybody was thinking, why now? The President described very well how Cyprus is now a portal of stability and a hub for talent. And we'll be very happy to have all of you with us. Going to the question that Leah asked, we are changing our economy. We're moving from a service economy to a knowledge-based economy. And we need all the talent that we want in order to engage, to deliver knowledge powered by technology and open for talent. So what are the next steps? The President mentioned all the activities that we have in the action plan. I would like to ask everybody to visit the website, see what the activities are. There's going to be a dedicated platform changing, adding all the data on. This will be available in a month. Our flagship initiative is the tax incentive that was mentioned already. We have the tax commissioner here with us, and I would like everybody to meet if they have any question about the tax system in Cyprus, the tax reform we're undertaking. Feel free to talk to us afterwards during the networking event. As Leah very well asked, how are we going to implement all these actions? We're very much targeted towards result. We have set up a team already, open to hear from you, a team that will be monitoring the implementation of the action plan, making sure that whatever we promise here, it's going to actually become practice, because this is in the depth of our government. We want to not only promise things, but to have results to what we're promising. We have engaged the private sector with us from the beginning of this endeavor. We have here representatives for many industries in Cyprus, showing how the economy is changing, how the productive base is being diversified. And I want to thank you also, everybody, all the businesses, both Cypriot ones, but also businesses that they have showed trust in our economy, that they're here with us today, that they engaged from the beginning in this endeavor, and they're with us in every step. I was in a panel last week, and I was with one of the business people that they're here today, and they were explaining how for them, all these foreign companies that they have set in Cyprus, how it is important for them to find Cypriot talent. And that's why we're here today. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Well, it looks like you have a well-thought plan, and I'm sure you will succeed. Mr. Stavro, turning to the Chamber of Commerce. In your role at the Chamber, how do you view the recent shift in Cyprus's economy towards high-value sectors, and what role does the business community play in supporting this growth?
Thank you, Leah. It's a real privilege to be here in this full room, and this is not a small one. On behalf of the Chamber of Commerce, yes, Leah, it's true that our economy, as the President and Vianios mentioned, goes through a transformation from the traditional sector economy to one of added value economy. And as it was mentioned during the speech of the President and the Vianios, we see new contributors now into our GDP to high numbers as well. We see technology, we see health and education, we see the shipping, which was a traditional one, is expanding, but the most important is the 14% that we heard on the technology and innovation. Now, we all experienced the changing of the global economy and how rapidly it recently evolved. Now, the transformation of our Cyprus economy is not just the follow of the trends of the global economy. It's something that is part of our strategy in order to make our economy more strong, to attract new investments, to create long, sustainable, good jobs that will attract our talent. Now, we all believe that there is a number of reasons why this is contributing to our success. One is our infrastructure, both legal and accounting and tax structures. Our location is our all these great professionals we have, and of course our location, which attracts these new investments and contributes tremendously. All these factors are contributing tremendously. Now, when we say that Cyprus is evolving and transforming, this is not abstract. This is something that we all work together with the government, with the Invest Cyprus. We are contributing towards that by creating promotions. We advertise what we have. We are not shy to say what we have. And we provide all the assistance that new investments are required, foreign investments coming to Cyprus. We connect people together, we put interested parties together, and we give them all the help they need in order to ensure that all together we move forward in order to create and make our economy a more not only successful but sustainable, that will create the environment in which we can attract the talents we want to attract back home. Now, this transformation is not just happening like that. It's based on strategy, as I said. It's based on 5 pillars, basically. Diversification, both in markets and sectors. As the President mentioned, we see interest coming from all the way from the US, from the Gulf, from new markets that we never had before. Technology and digital economy. Cyprus, as it was mentioned before, is one of the top in hubs, in startups, scale-ups, in areas like fintech. We, through initiatives that are initiated from the, not only but also from the business community and supported by the government, we provide special incentives for areas of innovation, of research and development and fintech. And further than that, we have also the green technology transition, if you like, and we saw a lot of funds coming from EU for green projects, and this is something which is working very, very well and taken, in inverted commas, advantage of in a good way. In addition to all this, we have the international headquartering and family offices, which, as they are becoming, Cyprus is really becoming a hub where people are using our infrastructure, our legal and accounting systems, either as a hub for their own operations or as a gateway into the Gulf, into Africa, or vice versa from those areas into Europe. And this is something that we're all working on and expanding. And last but not least, and perhaps the most importantly, we're creating a talent ecosystem whereby it values the people who decide to return back home to Cyprus and ensures that they have all they need in order to settle down and find and move forward and feel not only themselves at home, but their families as well, which is extremely important. We're all working together, as I said, the government, the Invest Cyprus, the Chamber of Commerce, towards creating opportunities which are worth everybody's time, everybody's hard work, and everybody's talent and future. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Stavro. Indeed, it won't work unless it's a holistic approach, of course. So, Andrew, I'll turn to you now. Remedica, a household name in Cyprus, began as a Cypriot company and has since evolved into a major pharmaceutical manufacturer with international presence, now backed by foreign investments. What does Cyprus offer across its business environment, regulatory framework, and broader climate that supports your operations and long-term growth?
Okay, thank you very much. And first of all, good evening, everyone, and thank you for taking your time. It's a privilege to be invited to join you on the panel today. A few words about Remedica. You know of the name if you've been in Cyprus for the medicines. 1980, a family business, but just a short while back in 2023, it was acquired by an international investment company called Letter One Health. Since then, a lot of investment has gone into it, and more recently we were in the Presidency office talking about a 20 million euro investment in what will be a R&D facility in Limassol. So we look forward to carrying on with that work. In terms of where we're going, we appreciate the great support from the government and the regulatory bodies and everything else. But I'm going to give you 5 reasons of why Cyprus is good for us. You mentioned, sir, as well about geography. We see Cyprus as the crossroads of Europe, Asia and Africa, perhaps the gateway even into Europe. And that's, from a logistic perspective for pharmaceuticals, that's very, very important. The second thing, as we're going to discuss tonight as well, is investor friendly and the ease of doing business and setting things up, requiring permits to enable our R&D for the buildings. These happen very easily in Cyprus, and it enables larger companies like us the opportunities to grow. The third one is the transparency around the business. We're a pharmaceutical company and we're governed by very strict regulations. Cyprus is very strong on those regulations and honours everything that is expected of a European pharmaceutical company. So we're maintained with all the highest regulations to make sure our medicines are delivered to patients of Cyprus, Europe and the rest of the world to the highest regulations, and that's with great help from Cyprus itself. And then as I move on to the final thing that's going to come is talent. So, all of this is only possible if we have great people, and that means great people locally. And as I reach out to the audience here and online, those of you that are going to come back. So in Cyprus, we're very happy that you support an education system that looks after STEM students. So STEM, for those of you, is around the science. And in any pharmaceutical business, we need people that are strong scientists to develop the research. So we invest Remedica in the schools. We have some sort of internships where we're investing in the schools to ensure that they put their science students forward. They make sure that the science students have great opportunities, and those opportunities do exist and will exist in Remedica going forward as we continue to grow. So thank you.
Great, thank you, Andrew. It was great to hear your points because they're what we promote at Invest Cyprus. So it's good to see that our investors actually are enjoying these benefits also. So thank you for that. Joanna, another MUFG International Services is a global financial institution with a significant presence in major markets. What were the key drivers behind your decision to establish a growing team in Cyprus? And how does the local operating environment support your strategic objectives?
Lovely, and thank you for having me. It's wonderful to be here.
Pleasure.
So MUFG Investor Services has around 17 global offices already and over 2,000 employees. So when we're going into new location, it's really critical we think about how it complements our existing strategy. And there are a couple of key points that we take into consideration and absolutely have blown our minds by entering into Cyprus. First of all, absolutely the talent. What talent does Cyprus have to offer? How can we grow and nurture the current talent within Cyprus? Working really closely with the universities to think about future talent, but also how we develop the talent there, not just hire it, how we help grow and nurture it. Another big important thing for us is a location that enables us to service our clients effectively. We offer our clients a 24/5 service, so 24 hours a day, 5 days a week, follow the sun model. Cyprus really enables us to fulfill on that model and fulfill that commitment to our clients. What we've really learned about Cyprus is the innovation conversation, how we can really focus on the future landscape of talent and the future of our industry. The conversations that we have in Cyprus really enable us to think about the future from a talent perspective and from how we grow our business. So our experiences in Cyprus have been phenomenal so far, really enabling positive conversations, building fundamentally strong banks of talent, but uniting people together and giving them an idea for a new opportunity and career progression.
Thank you, Joanna. I'll move on to Michael. EconBX is a part of Cyprus's growing fintech and electronic money sector, a space that reflects the country's broader shift towards high-value, technology-driven services. How would you describe the evolution of this ecosystem in recent years, and what conditions in Cyprus have enabled your company's growth?
Thank you for giving me the chance. Kalispera, Your Excellency, thank you very much for this initiative. Well, to be honest, I would rather say what is happening currently in Cyprus and why people should be considering Cyprus once again and its ecosystem when it comes to the fintech industry where I belong and the regulatory scope under the Central Bank of Cyprus. However, the most important part, and I think why people are here today, is mostly to understand if they should be coming back home, because that is the objective, to see if people want to return to their houses, to return to their homeland, and contribute one way or another. Well, I always like to think, upside down, and I would rather say in this case, don't come home. Not yet. Stay abroad, make knowledge, acquire knowledge, learn more things. We're peoples of explorers. I mean, we're a small island, we're people where we have a lot of qualities rather than quantities. And I think that we have already been doing this throughout the eons and the history of Cyprus. And our people actually, and that's why we have a strong diaspora in London and in England generally, because we have migrated abroad to help and create a better life for our families and our communities. And I would like to say that congratulations, and you guys are the people which are keeping us strong and are giving us actually hope that better days are always coming, because you will eventually come back home. The purpose of you guys being here is eventually to love your country, to get as much knowledge as possible, and as a community return back and bring these treasures that you have acquired. We need them. EconBX, for example, being an international company under the regulatory scope of the Central Bank of Cyprus as an electronic money institution, we need international knowledge. And the recent years, and especially under his presidency now, the project that has been done, Cyprus has indeed become a pride of what we have and a jewel of the Mediterranean and the European Union in terms of economy. It's time that we can re-encompass Cyprus back onto the map as a challenging destination for us to return back home and bring back what we learned, if you feel ready to come back. So at EconBX, we started it off as a really small project, and it was just basically a whisper, a dream, that we wanted to create an ecosystem of payments and technology that would compete against European titans. I don't want to say brands, I don't want to say names, that's not why I'm here, but we have achieved this, and we have achieved this due to one major factor, human factor. The people that we recruit, we're a very Cypriot-based company with a lot of Cypriot culture. We have people which have passion. And a lot of people say that passion dies off just like a fire eventually, and that's when discipline kicks in. Well, no. Discipline is not just continuing to do what you do like you love it. is ensuring that you have enough discipline to be passionate in what you're doing. And we do have it. We're a hot-headed Mediterranean race, and we do have this passion. So who's ever coming back home, you're most welcome. You're most welcome to ComBX. You're most welcome to send your CVs. We have our HR, head of HR here sitting with us, Katiana. You're going to have a lot of work after this. The payroll is going to go crazy, but you know what? It's a crazy world. And we need a lot of love and some madness and crazy in it. And we're ready to embrace you back home. So thank you very much for having us here. And I hope to see you all back home eventually.
Thank you, Michali. Very inspiring. Well, we have about 800 people in this room, so maybe there are some that want to come back, hopefully. Dimitri, I'll turn to you. How does 33 East support Cyprus in its journey to become a destination for innovation-driven entrepreneurship?
Thank you, Leah. First of all, what a great initiative. I think so many of us have been waiting for this for so long, and thank you to the President, thank you so much to all the government ministers here, all the people who worked tirelessly to make this happen. Thank you so much. 33 East, we are a venture capital firm with a focus on Cyprus. We are actually the example of people going back to Cyprus. Yannis is there, and Yannis is full-time in Cyprus now. I'm kind of spending half my time in Cyprus. We are focused on investing in startups based in Cyprus. We manage the Cyprus Equity Fund that the President explained earlier in his speech, and we are backed by the European Investment Fund. We have a vision for Cyprus. We have the same vision, which is to create we become a catalyst for creating this innovation-driven economy. And for that to happen, it needs many ingredients. And one of these ingredients is investment. So what we do is we provide capital, support and connections to ambitious founders who want to start something out of Cyprus. So we want to see Cyprus become this kind of hive of entrepreneurship, and we want to act as the catalyst to support that.
Thank you, Dimitrimo. Thank you. We finished the first round. We'll move on to a second round of questions. We'll try and keep them short because we're just over the half time. Ms. Biggie, as Deputy Minister for the Coordination and Support of the Government Programme, you hold a key horizontal role in advancing cross-ministerial reforms. In the context of changing Cyprus, how does your work support the modernisation of the state as a driver of economic transformation? Which specific reforms do you see as most important in this shift? And are there any other reforms you believe deserve any particular attention?
Thank you, Leah, for the question. We are transforming our country into a modern state built on trust. We're working on the key values of accountability, transparency and effectiveness. We have set up for the first time under the President a special task force which is tasked in the Presidential Palace, is tasked with delivering all the government program. We have specific deliverables, we have specific actions, and we have people that they monitor every day that all the reforms that we've been talking about, that I'm going to mention just a few now, are actually being implemented. Because it's very easy to set up programs and plans. The most difficult, hard task is to actually implement them. If I can mention just very few briefly, because I know we're running out of time, briefly some of the key reforms that we're undertaking as a country. And we have a dedicated website where everybody can visit every day, every citizen of Cyprus, and view, if you're interested, to see all the reforms that we're undertaking. So we mentioned already the tax reform. It's a very ambitious reform aimed to increase the competitiveness of Cyprus companies. There is a pension reform undertaken. We have the Minister of Labour here. He's going to be talking in the next panel, so he can give you more details on that. Housing is very important for us. We have a holistic approach, both to increase supply and also to help on demand. So we have very good schemes, especially for younger people, for young families that they want to set up to own a home. We have another reform, of course, is digital transformation. We have here with us the Deputy Minister for Digital Transformation and for Innovation. 2025 is the digital year for Cyprus. And to finish off schooling. We have as an aim by 2028 all of the schools to be all-day schools. Very important, with an integrated program. So not just all-day schools, but so that they have also an integrated program so kids will be learning everything throughout the day. These are just a few reforms. As I said, our aim is to deliver all these reforms. We're running on very tight schedules. I'm not saying that this is an easy task, but it's something that we believe in and we're really working for. Thank you.
Excellent, thank you. Mr. Stavro, what is the message from the business community towards the professionals here today?
Well, in this transformation that we're going through, which is continuous and in order to be sustainable, as our friend Fano said, we all have something to do. Nobody can be spared. And it will only succeed. And Mihalimo, I know what you said, but I believe that nobody can be spared. And if you, the Cypriot professionals who have succeeded abroad, the young generation should all work together in achieving this transformation through your experience, professionality, and out-of-the-box ideas. We all want you back home to be part of it, as the President said, of this transformation. Let me put it bluntly to you, as a Cypriot to Cypriots. We don't just want you back home, we need you back home. And we would want you to be part of this transformation. You are our competitive edge. You have experience, you have worked in complex markets, in complex systems, and you have a lot to contribute in this change. So we need you back home. I know that, of course, you will not come back home just for emotional reasons, and you will need some assurances as to career paths, good institutions for work, good salaries, and a way of life, and that will be up to your own standards and your family's needs. And I do believe that the campaign started by our President and announced today is a great contribution towards meeting those requirements of yours. We heard from other people's experiences here how it all flows down there right now. So I think it's a good start for all of us to work together. And I am sure all these initiatives that they were announced today by the President and the reforms that Mrs. Piggy mentioned earlier on contribute tremendously towards this direction, and I urge you all to take advantage of them. So the real message actually here today is that this restructuring of the economy is something that should bring Cyprus where it deserves to be. And we need people back home where they can put their hard work, their new ideas, their out-of-the-box ideas in order to push Cyprus to be where it deserves to be. And let's face it, dear friends, we have a president here today, the first one perhaps who realized and wasn't shy to do so that most of our, or a lot of our most valuable assets are abroad, utilized by everybody else other than where perhaps they are needed most, back home. So my message is, let's help him get all these valuable assets back where they belong. Thank you.
Message loud and clear, Πρόεδρος. Andrew, The pharmaceutical industry is now a strategic pillar of Cyprus's economy. How do you see your company's role in driving innovation, exports and employment? And what more could be done to strengthen Cyprus's position as a hub for pharmaceutical manufacturers and, of course, R&D?
Another great question, thank you. So there's one simple word that comes to this, and it's around growth. So the pharmaceutical industry will always continue to grow, and Remedica will continue to grow as well. And to do that, we need to invest. We need to invest in more R&D. We need to invest in more exports. And when you come to events like this, you always ask for some data. So I am told from my team, Remedica, that we export over 10% of locally produced products in Cyprus, out of Cyprus. Number 2, and I'm told, to halloumi cheese. So apparently halloumi cheese is number 1, so pharmaceuticals is number 2. And then all these roads come to the same at the end. It's around talent. You know, in order to have more investment, more R&D and produce these exports, we need to bring the talent back. So I preach to all of you in this room. I mean, I also ask for some data. I have over 700 members of staff in our Cyprus factory and plant, and over 100 of them have returned from the United Kingdom and other countries. So alumni from universities such as, and I'll just name a few, Durham, Manchester, UCL, Sheffield, Surrey, Leicester, and University of Arts, London, just to name a few. Degrees, chemistry, biology, drug development, chemical engineering. There are roles for all of you just doing this in the science. And I'm not even starting to talk about human resources, finance, supply chain. This is purely my ask for scientists, because we're a research-based company, we're a development-based company, and that's the talent we ask. So as I conclude my answer, we want growth, we want investment, but it all happens by talent coming back to Cyprus. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Joanna, from a talent perspective, what makes a location competitive for international firms operating in high-value sectors like finance and professional services? And how does Cyprus compare?
Thank you. Well, we've built our business in Cyprus to 250 or just over 250 employees in 2 years. So we've had phenomenal success in building that team out. And that really does come down to the quality of talent within Cyprus. Whether it is from the wonderful universities we've built the relationships with, or it's grassroots nurturing talent from below, or whether it's people returning to Cyprus, the quality of talent has made Cyprus exceptionally competitive for us. But actually, it's more than just the talent, it's the culture that we create within the organisation. It's really important that we build a culture where it's inclusive, where voices are heard, where people have an opportunity to grow and to learn something they may never have thought of doing before. And by being a global organisation in Cyprus, we're able to offer those opportunities, whether it's global learning and development programmes, whether it's global benefits to suit lifestyle choices. We're able to accelerate talent within the organisation, which is key. Another thing that's really important is wonderful space for employees to be and thrive. Our office space in Cyprus, like many others, is a wonderful space to be. Whether it's working professionally or connecting with friends or socialising, which is a key part of building a community in a workplace, we have a wonderful space that enables us to do that. So creating those spaces where people want to come to work and they want to be part of makes it exceptionally competitive. I think one of the last things I would say is how we put back to enable people to return and come back to Cyprus. So making sure that we're staying in touch with the local community, making sure we're asking what matters as an employer, making sure we're working with people to build employees and places they want to be part of is really, really critical. Our plans is to build it way beyond 250 people in the next couple of years. So we will continue to work with the universities, with the government to make sure that we continue to attract that great talent.
Lovely, thank you. Thank you very much. Michael, from your experience leading a fast-evolving financial institution, what are the key strengths Cyprus offers for business operating in these sectors, and what do you see are the greatest opportunities for your next phase of growth?
Okay. So the most important part about Cyprus and why we established the headquarters of EcoVX in Cyprus is, first of all, is the application that we had to do to get from the regulator, which were under the Central Bank of Cyprus. Cyprus being under the common law, it's much easier for us, especially most of the people that we recruited, the lawyers, the legal framework, coming from England and universities in the UK, to be much more easier to comprehend and apply and comply with the regulatory framework. So that's a very friendly regulatory framework. You have tax planning again, which is very attractive and allows us to make a lot of forecasting on how we're going to operate. And then the most important part is, naturally, as Cyprus being a small place and an island, it's very important the fact that you can do a lot of piloting. So it's a small place, it's easy to do trial and error, it's easy to spread your services across the country, and it's a very good launching platform to start from there and go towards the European Union. And this is also one of the reasons why we started it. And then one of the biggest questions that somebody might have is, so if you're trying to build a company that's trying to go against the titans of the European Union, how are you going to achieve that in such a small country with no critical mass? Well, then again, because of the common law of Cyprus, and of the tax planning, and of the frameworks, and of the introducers and the legal advisors and the service providers that exist, and of international companies like yourselves, which are huge and titans in the industry coming from the global network, are hubbed into Cyprus, and we're able to get such clients from the international network within Cyprus, because they either have headquartering, they have holding companies, they have limited companies, whatever structures exist, most likely they are going to have a footprint in Cyprus. So it was very easy for us to actually launch our services and try our services with the individuals in Cyprus, which is not the critical mass, but a very nice piloting, but to obtain a core backbone to the corporate world on a global level because of the huge companies that exist on the island for the benefits that we just aforementioned. So yeah, it was a very nice journey, and it is. And the last part that I would like to say is also the fact that we have a local regulator, which is under the European Union Central Bank. It's much easier and much approachable to be in a smaller country and a smaller community, to have better alliances, better communication, and it's easier to actually comply and communicate whatever you have when it comes to technology and earn the trust. Because after all, at the end of the day, it's a small country, so we all know each other. So there's definitely going to be some part that has to do with the personal network and how it operates.
Thank you, Michali, thank you. Last but not least, Dimitri, drawing your experience as a tech startup founder and investor, what attracts entrepreneurs to build out of Cyprus?
Well, in a nutshell, community. Community and community. So we are here in London. London is the largest community of startups and founders in Europe. And London wasn't the London you know now 20 years ago. And what we're trying to build in Cyprus can be like London in 10, 20 years from now. And just to say that Cyprus already has a lot of talent. We already have the beginnings of an ecosystem developing in Cyprus. We have a lot of very highly skilled professionals in Cyprus. We have, especially Limassol, is amazingly developed, increasingly also Paphos, and we can see also Larnaca. We have sort of different parts of Cyprus becoming, we can see the beginnings of an ecosystem developing. And what I would like to say is that there's many factors. We've heard from many of the panelists here that yes, it's important that we are in the European Union, hugely important for startups to think about that. Two, we have common law. We have got a legal framework which is very advantageous and beneficial to people. It's clear you'll come to Cyprus. We have a rational tax system that's also advantageous for people, to both personally and also for corporation tax. We have all those things. We have also Cyprus where people can live there and they can feel a sense of belonging. We hear from people that in other places when they consider, they don't feel the same. It's not the same to be in Dubai. Cyprus competes. Talent moves where the action is. And we compete with other locations for the category I'm in. For founders, individual people who want to move to a location, they typically consider places like, for example, Lisbon, like sometimes, for example, Amsterdam, maybe sometimes Dubai. And Cyprus has a lot of advantages. But the key point I'd like to say is that all those elements I mentioned to everybody are hygiene factors. People are not going to come just for the tax. They're coming because of community. And how do we create community? People like you coming back to Cyprus.
Thank you, and thank you all the panelists. We will move on to a short Q&A. The questions were submitted in advance by members of the Cypriot in the City network, and they shared their thoughts in advance. Due to time limitations, we'll only have one question, which I have chosen, I'm reading out. If I want to return to Cyprus, but instead of being employed to start my own business in healthcare or medtech, what incentives are available for these kind of enterprises, if any? Is there a startup ecosystem? Would I be able to benefit from the scheme? And I believe this question should be answered by Mr. Nikodimos Damianou, Minister of Research, Innovation and Digital Policy. Mr. Damianou, could you please come to the podium and reply?
Thank you. I'll use this, yes?
Yes, please.
Kalispera. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for the question, but also thank you all for being here. It's exciting to see how so many of you join us. I was listening to the discussion, and I know you want me out of here as fast as possible, but please allow me a 60-second personal story, because I think that's what this is about. That's what this evening is about, at least partly. So, at some point during my, let's call it, academic career, I also found myself in London. Most Cypriots back then found themselves at some point in London, after coming from the US, actually. Not far from here, South Kensington, doing my PhD. But then I went back to Cyprus, and guess what? I did not become an entrepreneur. Now, some of us did. I see some of you here, actually. But most of us didn't. Actually, if I did, I would probably be dressed like Michalis. Or maybe not, I don't know. The point, though, here is, and I could blame it on being born at the wrong time, blame it on my parents, but jokes aside, the point is that back then, there was very, very little that could push you, drive you, maybe force you even to build something of your own or to do a startup like the question you are asking. Very little. Now things have changed dramatically. And with that, let me go to your question. There's nothing too specific. There's no specific incentive for that particular vertical, but there's many things to note that are very, very relevant. So let me start with funding. We have the Research and Innovation Foundation. That's the national agency responsible for the promotion and funding of research and innovation in Cyprus. So through that, we have a number of programs that cater for all stages of a startup journey. From early stage funding to scale-up funding. And so we have a pre-seed that is up to 120K, a seed program that is up to 500,000, and then we have what we call Innovate, it's 1 million, and then some blending and blended finance programs. A key point there is that this is equity-free. And the reason it's equity-free is because we want to push forward with the ecosystem. We want the ecosystem to grow. And one example in that respect is a new program. This is under consultation currently. It's called STEP, and that's for helping businesses set up facilities and production lines for manufacturing innovative products. Okay? And there are three thematic areas there: deep tech, clean energy, clean tech, energy, and biotech. So it renders nicely into the question. Now that's funding, and of course in that respect we also have the government-backed Cyprus Equity Fund. Dimitris and Yannis are here, and I'm sure they will be very happy to talk to any startup.
And we'll have a side event tomorrow evening at the High Commission. Any of the young startups here who are interested, do come along 6 p.m. tomorrow evening at the High Commission.
So you see, he was so excited he had to interrupt me about this, because this is indeed the sort of startup ecosystem that we're trying to build. Now, apart from funding, though, there is and I know what you said, Dimitris, about tax, but there is also a very strong package of tax incentives that comes with it, and it's particularly applicable to high-tech, innovative startups. The first thing is the innovation certificate. There is a process, you apply for that, there are certain conditions. Once you get that, then people can invest in your company and they can get a 50% tax exemption. That's an important measure. The second one is talking about investments. If you do your own R&D investments for any R&D cost in your books, you get 120% discount. And perhaps the most important in that respect is the IP box. And allow me to say that we probably have the most aggressive IP box of all of Europe. It's very broad, and it brings your effective tax rate down to 2.5%. That's hugely important. Now, if I move on from that one, there are support structures on the island. We have the Digital Innovation Hub. That's government-backed. We back it as a deputy ministry, but it's also supported by a very large consortium of leading firms on the island, research institutions and academia. And they offer services for high-tech, innovative companies as well. So the sort of services that would be test before invest, digital innovation road mapping, and digital maturity assessment, and so on. And last but not least, what we heard from Mr. President, Evgenios I think mentioned it, and probably it came up during the panel, the research and innovation ecosystem. And that's hugely important because that's fueling our startup ecosystem, and it can also link to our tech ecosystem. And I see some people nodding here. That ecosystem is very strong in Cyprus. Cyprus is, for the third consecutive year, in one of Europe's top performers, what we call strong innovators under the European Innovation Scoreboard. We have had the highest growth of that ecosystem since 2017 of all member states. You want me to interrupt or should I go on? I will go on. I will be quick. Cyprus has 7 centers of excellence out of the 37 in Europe. This is a very competitive program, by the way, and these centers of excellence, some of them are here. There's a lot of activity in AI in that respect. A lot of activity in health tech, which is the subject matter of your question. A lot of activity in AI in health tech is also happening in large corporations on the island, multinationals as well. So someone who comes there to Cyprus, in that respect, they can build this community that Dimitris talked about. So I will stop here, but I will say that based on last week's results on the Startup Link, Cyprus is the #1 hub for gaming in the world, and the #3 hub in Southeastern Europe in fintech. These are extraordinary results. They're not just. So going back to my initial short story and my mentioning of Michalis, that would be reasons for someone going to Cyprus now and not 20 years ago when I was returning from London to do their startup, to start their business there and grow like companies like EconBX did.
Thank you very much. That was very interesting, lots of interesting information. I presume all this information will be on the website soon enough. Is that correct, Ms. Biggie?
Yes, definitely. Already the action plan is on the website. And we are going to be putting data all the time and all the information necessary for anybody that wants to move back to Cyprus. We want you all to come back and build the Cyprus we want together. And all the information will be on the website. And please get in contact with us if you have any further ideas. The action plan is a live document. It's a living process. So if you have any further ideas about things we can do to help you to have a soft landing, we're open to suggestions.
With that, I think we'll have to end this panel. Thank you all, ladies and gentlemen. It was very interesting and insightful. Thank you very much.
Thank you to all of our panelists. That was indeed very interesting. Now we will hear stories of professionals who took the decision to return to Cyprus, taking with them their expertise, their values, and their vision for impact. Moderating this panel is Ms. Charis Kinigou, Executive Board Member and Head of Private Banking, Treasury Capital Markets and ESG at Astrobank. Mr. Yannis Panagiotou, Minister of Labour and Social Insurance of Cyprus. Mr. Alexis Pandazis, Co-founder and Executive Director of Hellas Direct and member of the Advisory Board of Cypriots in the City. Mr. Thalis Anaxagoras, CEO of ISDI Limited. Ms. Marianna Hadjiantoniou, Founder and Director of Perha Group. And Mr. Christoforos Papachristoforou, Founder and Managing Partner in Vel Real Estate. Let's welcome them all to the stage.
Kalispera, good afternoon. Socrates once said, I am not an Athenian or a Greek, but a citizen of the world. That quote has followed me through every stage of my professional journey. After spending more than 15 years working abroad myself in diverse and fast-moving environments, I came to truly understand what it meant. We grow, we adapt, we build careers in different corners of the world, but we also carry something constant with us: our identity, our roots, our history. For many of us, Cyprus was a starting point of that story. But for some like me, it was also the next chapter. Reconnecting with home was not about going back, nostalgia and family. It was about moving forward with purpose. How can I bring the global experience I have gathered and invested in a place that's shaped to who I am? Cyprus is not the same Cyprus we knew since 20 years. It has been immersed in a true international business center, providing a bridge of East and West and island getaway to European Union. It is a country with stability despite its troubled history. Cyprus government has introduced targeted tax incentives, we've heard before from the President, Mr. Nikos Christodoulides and Mrs. Piki. Today here we have a remarkable panel with distinguished speakers. They are here to share their inspiring stories, not statistics, but the human and practical confessions of what it means to come back, to contribute and stay connected. Let me start with the Minister. Mr. Panagiotou, with Cyprus experiencing robust economic growth, unemployment declining towards full employment, what is your assessment of the current state of the labour market? Specifically, how are these positive trends translating into sustainable, high-quality employment opportunities for both young professionals but also returning Cypriots?
Well, if the most important investment decision we make in our lives is about the way we will invest ourselves, as a member of the government, I have an inside information for you to share, and I want to note that this is the best time for you to invest your future in Cyprus. because our political commitment for economic development and social cohesion best reflects on the successful steps in the labour market and the positive trends in our labour market. During the last 2 years, we achieved the highest employment rate ever recorded in Cyprus, and actually in 2025 we are expecting to accomplish a goal set for 2030 for an employment rate of 80%. We managed to minimize unemployment below 5%, and this is the lowest unemployment rate since 2008. Youth unemployment in Cyprus during the last 2 years was minimized more than in any other EU member state. The average wage in Cyprus was improved by a degree higher than since the early 90s, actually since 1993. The average wage in Cyprus now is approximately 2,500 euros, and in specific industries such as in financial and technology services, it doubles this amount. We expect that within the next couple of years we will accomplish lower unemployment rates, higher employment rates, better salaries, more quality jobs, and even more opportunities, especially for highly skilled young people. So I will say again that this is the perfect momentum for people abroad to rethink the possibility of coming back home, because this is the best time to do so.
Alexis, you have worked closely with professionals returning after years abroad. Actually, you like to employ people coming abroad. In your opinion, what helped them thrive in the local business culture, in Cyprus, and how Hellas Direct supported a smoother transition? What problems or issues have you encountered as an employer?
Hi everyone, can you hear me? It's an unbelievable scene that you see so many people in London who are related to Cyprus or want to go back to Cyprus. When I left London about 15 years ago, together with my co-founder Emilios, we were actually around the corner at Goldman Sachs where we both worked when we put the first business plan of Hellas Direct together. And Hellas Direct, just by way of context, we're a digital-first insurance company. We're headquartered in Cyprus. We operate in a number of blind spot markets in Europe, Greece being the obvious one, the natural extension to Cyprus, but also Romania. We're going to Czechia soon, and Slovakia. And we're trying to disrupt using technology and advanced analytics. And I'll come back to that with regards to the talent. It's shocking to see how many steps Cyprus has made in the right direction in attracting talent back. In Hellas Direct, in our office in Cyprus, we've got about 300 employees, and just to understand the scale of the business, we have about 300 million of revenue. We service about 1.5 million clients. We have about 320 employees, actually. 50 of them are based in Cyprus. 1 out of 4 we actually brought back from London. Great schools, Cambridge, Oxford, Imperial, great employment opportunities before that. Most of the investment banks, Google, Amazon, etc. And a lot of these people came back. And I think the main reason they came back, the pull factor, is what you mentioned before about the emotional connection, the personal reasons why somebody wants to come back. The push factor also helped. We had ad campaigns during Brexit with Boris Johnson as a headline figure. Thankfully, he hasn't sued us, saying, are you fed up with this? You like the sun? You like tech? Come to Cyprus. And we actually recruited people from that. But I think back to your point, we are very fortunate to have an amazing culture as a company. But the broader ecosystem that Dimitris mentioned before, and also Nikodimos, the minister, has changed a lot. And once you see people that think and act like you with similar backgrounds, similar experiences, that's where you really want to be. And I think from our perspective, we've seen that. We have 12 or 13 people now in the Cyprus office that could have easily had any job they wanted in London, and they've come back. Now, not everybody, it's not for everybody, just to be crystal clear. If you're going after money and the top paying job you can find, you're probably going to be in Silicon Valley, you're going to be somewhere else.
You're answering my second question.
Good, I'm ahead of time. If you're optimizing for taxes, you will probably be in Dubai, Abu Dhabi. But if you want to find a balanced life in a place that is warm, that is really nice, it's family-oriented with good schools and all that, but you can also find a professional challenge that I think didn't exist about 15 years ago. For us, for our people, that seems to be working well.
Thank you, Alexis. Thalis, you have just returned. Returning to Cyprus after building a career abroad can be deeply personal and transformative experience, as you know. While the familiarity of home may feel comforting, readapting to local customs, business practices, and social norms can sometimes bring unexpected challenges. I'm sure that you face some. Did you experience reverse cultural shock upon returning to Cyprus? And if so, how did it manifest? What would you suggest to change in order Cyprus to become closer to UK and Europe in terms of government support, innovation, so that to help with the transition? I mean, maybe it's what Mr.
It's a bit of a complex question, but
yeah,
let's simplify it. Yeah, so first of all, thanks for inviting me today, and it's the first time that I'm with so many Cypriots in one room. Okay, I think it's more than a wedding, yeah. So, I mean, moving back to Cyprus is a complex decision, yeah. It's not taking only one aspect of it, yeah. So you have kind of a change of events or a change, and every ring is a different thing that you need to address. The easiest thing to say, and you can put a number in, is a tax. You can say the tax is this, you have an advantage, and at the time that I took the decision, that was an extra push to come to Cyprus. But that was not the only reason. It was another event that was in London, and you could see that people wanted to make a change, and people, they were listening. And what you see, this event today, it has some aspect of people listening what you said. Having a tax advisor here today, having the human resources people here today, people that can employ people here today, it does make a big difference and make you feel more like we are in the United Kingdom, that they address things, let's call it properly, or they address all aspects or all different corners of people that they will feel that they need to know. But definitely also moving back to Cyprus, yes, I have been away for 27 years. Moving back to Cyprus, you gain a lot as a family. You have more free time because you don't have to travel long distances. You want to do mushroom picking, you pick up the car, you go mushroom picking with the kids, and after half an hour you're back home cooking them. So it's a completely different. You can go swimming, you can go fishing, you can have fun with the kids, you have a puncture on your bike, you fix it with the kid on your own, you don't have to go and find somebody to fix it. It's a different, completely, as a family you just build more bonds together. Nevertheless, of course, if you address the comparison between the UK and Cyprus, yes, the simple way of explaining it, I said it to a few people already, is like the kids play football together in the UK. One does a score, they all play about the same. You say, oh dear. In Cyprus, they play football, one didn't score, we say, you idiot, you stupid, what are you doing? So this is the difference of the culture, of the mentality, that you need to address and understand and explain to your kids, they don't mean it. It's the way that the Mediterraneans are reacting. But on the other hand, it's fun. We enjoy. And of course, after moving, I just moved recently, so 6 months, 7 months in Cyprus now. Then you address your tax, you address your family, now you're addressing your business. You cannot rush and address everything at the same time. I think that would be a bit more complicated. So the business-wise, what you see, first of all, my business partner also moved to Cyprus. He's English, but for tax reasons, especially for his pension that he has to take out. So also my business partner now is in Cyprus. And he asked me a question, I mean, how would you see to employ people here, like, to move manufacturing here? And we're at a kebab shop, as you do. And I said to him, you look at that kid over there working behind the bench. Would you hire him? Yes, I will hire him. He was, fully motivated, very chatty person, helping, everything. It's just what you need is ethics, yeah? And if you have ethics, you can also bring manufacturing. And bringing manufacturing, later on, you can bring regional development. As soon as you bring the infrastructure there, you can do those things. And I really find it very helpful that a lot of people, some of them in this crowd here today, that wherever you had on a question, you asked a question and they came back and they tried to help you. It's not the Cyprus like 27 years ago. It's no comparison. And for sure, yeah, there were challenges. Wherever you move, even if you move from London to Manchester, you have challenges. That's common. The kids then behave as well differently. It's just normal to face those things. But definitely, the life is much better as a family, and also for businesses, I think there are big prospects. If we did a feasibility of comparing the cost between the UK and Cyprus. Yeah, labor is cheaper in Cyprus. Rent, I mean, it's like a factor of 10, the rent difference between Cyprus and London. So definitely, I think it's worth the move, and we are happy about it. But of course, to see all the changes that we are trying to do, build the factory and research and development in Cyprus, it will take good 2 to 5 years before all these things will be implemented.
Thank you. You gave hope, I think. Marianna, you have been a driving force in shaping impactful initiatives that contribute to Cyprus' development. Your expertise and leadership have played a significant role in bringing fresh perspectives and innovative approaches to the local businesses and social landscape. Could you please highlight a meaningful initiative or project you have spearheaded since your return that stands out as a proud achievement?
Wow, first of all, what a great initiative, and thank you, Mr. President, for organizing all this. It's amazing the participation, and actually it's a success having all these people gathering together today, because they really want to come back, or at least they are thinking of coming back. So going back to your question, Charismo, I will say that returning back many years ago, I put myself and dedicate myself on shifting on how we work. This is 9 to 5 working schedule. I thought that I needed to concentrate and bringing flexibilities, focusing on well-being, and creating corporate cultures in organizations that actually the human resources will thrive. It was not easy, and still there are a lot of things that we are working on. I mean, okay, yes, the ecosystem is changing and we have the support of the government, and this is great. But what we really need and what we are focusing is actually doing the shift, not to work with traditional ways of doing business, but to accommodate innovation, accommodate technologies, and bringing this as a blend to a new business world. So that was my focus, and I'm happy seeing people relocating back to Cyprus.
Thank you, Mariana. Christopoulos, as Cyprus continues to evolve economically and socially, professionals who have lived and worked abroad play a crucial role in shaping its future. How do they influence the evolution of Cyprus' economy and the social landscape?
Thank you, Harris, for the question. Your Excellency, thank you for organizing this, Petros and everyone else, distinguished guests. It was a pleasure to be here and obviously addressing this great crowd. Allow me to deviate a little bit from your question, even though I will answer it, just because I think it's important to tell a story. So 2017, when I first moved back to Cyprus after many years being abroad, I used to be in the city of London, running Deutsche Bank's real estate business globally. I then founded Invel, and we started investing. It's a private equity firm investing in hospitality, real estate, distress situations, and we had mainly invested in Southern Europe. So when I made that decision, it was the choice of 3 countries where we had most of our investments. It was Italy, Greece, and last Cyprus. And then I did go to Cyprus. I did end up there, but it was a coincidence. And I never believed, 7 years forward, that we would have, from 2 people that we initially started the office there, we have 35 people in the private equity firm and another 1,000 in the various hotels we bought, deployed more than 700 million euro of capital in the country. Again, it was, for me, it was pure coincidence. And what does that show is that it's a country that if you want to succeed, if you want to make things happen, things can happen. And that's quite unique, and that's why I cherish the fact that a lot of these young people, but also older people, want to consider coming back.
I do agree actually with Michalis. I think spending time abroad and learning and actually developing certain skills like the compete and the thrive to succeed, it's quite important. But at some point, coming back would make sense, especially once you have mastered those kind of experiences. So to end and answer your question, I think that the more expats return, the more of the Cyprus of diaspora, whether it's the UK or elsewhere, I think the country will continue to be more dynamic, continue to evolve and progress, and I think it's nothing but good for the country.
Thank you. Mr. Panagiotou, many successful Cypriots abroad who consider returning back, as Mr. President mentioned before, they don't just look at job offers. They look at the wider ecosystem, like access to healthcare, quality education for their children, digital infrastructure, even the limited connectivity we have with the rest of the world. In your view, what does Cyprus still need to strengthen in order to become truly competitive, not just in attracting talent, but in retaining it long-term? What are the government's long-term plans for the next decade? And what strategies can be implemented to address existing weaknesses?
Well, in Cyprus, we have a tradition of universal social insurance going back to the early 60s. And since the last decade, we have also a universal health insurance system. But especially in the modern world, work-life balance is a priority for everyone. So within the last couple of years, since 2023, we increased by 35% the government expenditure on work-life balance policies, more specifically by extending maternity leave, by further utilizing paternity leave, by increasing the birth grant support, by expanding parental leave for both parents, by expanding the age limit until which this allowance can be utilized. And these are just indicative of how we perceive the importance of further improving the ecosystem of providing the necessary support for parents who work and at the same time they need to raise their children with both of them being present and watching them grow, not by distance but by actively participating in their upbringing. And in addition to this, I want to underline that since our goal is to reach a higher level of for our employment rate, and since our goal is for more women to actively participate in the labour market, work-life balanced policies are a priority for our government, and we have more to deliver for the years to come.
Thank you. Alexi, in your experience, what are returning professionals truly looking for? An important aspect is the financial. How do we bridge the gap between international salary expectations and local reality?
I think starting with the first part of your question, what are people coming back looking for? And we've seen a big shift post-COVID. I think COVID gave us all the chance to breathe, reflect, evaluate what is important in life. So the non-monetary part of your compensation, which is the ability to spend time with your kids, the ability to go to the beach, the ability to do things outside work, I think that became more and more important for all of us. And that was also supported, as the Minister said before, about the ability of working more flexibly, remotely, digital, globally, from a place like Cyprus. So I think the first thing that people look for is that flexibility, and that's not a monetary thing. On the monetary side, I do hear what you said before about the rents being cheaper than London. but the rents have increased a lot as well. So you look at some of the initiatives that the government is taking in order to combat that, because when you go to Limassol right now, rents are quite expensive. And when you compare it to real income, they are, I wouldn't say unaffordable, but they're difficult to catch up with. So again, I think when people come to Cyprus, I think that at least the people that we employ, they definitely look at the real income. So you have to take into account the cost of living. You have to take into account the tax regime. Obviously, that's important. But I think it's also things like stock options, which didn't exist in a place like Cyprus until about 15, 20 years ago.
The private
so the ability
sector.
to have the upside of a company like allάζει, or like any other company that is starting in Cyprus right now. So again, back net, I think there's the soft factors, which are much more important post-COVID, and the hard factors, which we still have some work to do. But hopefully with this new tax plan and the initiative of building more homes and all that, hopefully that will play catch up a little bit.
Thank you. Many of us who have worked abroad find that the distance doesn't weaken our identity. On the contrary, it sharpens it. Have you experienced this in terms of an overwhelming national pride as a parameter for your decision to return back home?
Distance, I mean, how far?
Yeah.
I think it's not, the good thing about London is very well connected with Cyprus. Yeah, you get more than 4 flights a day, and that's make life a bit easier for me. Of course, if I have a customer visit, which is in Oulu, in Finland, which you need to change 4 flights to get there, it can happen, but that's not a very regular thing, once every year or once every 6 months. So for me, I travel back and forth every 2 weeks to London. I try to shorten my days here as much and take an advantage. So I leave Sunday evening and I fly back other Thursday evening just to cover as much as I can. But I think as we are moving also to a digital world, that's getting less and less important for me.
Sorry to interrupt you. The question was, living abroad, if that had weakened your identity, how you feel as a Cypriot, as a Greek Cypriot?
I think the Cypriots, I would say that the Cypriots of London, they do more events to have the community together compared to when you go back to Cyprus. So I think we have a weekend on that. I think we did feel that wanted to go back, and you might even have, when you have a family that passes away, you might ask the question, where do you want to pass away? Yeah? And you say, obviously, more likely Cyprus instead of London. Yeah. So I think based on this factor, you say, you didn't weaken your identity, and I think you wanted to go back. Of course, you have to choose the right time to go back. And after 27 years of experience, I'm not afraid to set up a factory or do whatever in Cyprus because you have the experience. As we hear also Michael was mentioning it, gain the experience and then go back. So based on this experience, I'm more flexible to move back. And I don't think we lost our identity, but again, we have adapted to kind of a different culture. Yeah, we're not 100% the Cypriot culture. We have features of the UK culture as well, embedded in us now.
You felt homesick?
No, I never felt homesick. No, my decision, I'm an engineer. I don't take decisions with emotions. My decisions are clearly, A and B, C and D, and I take my decision. No, I never...
Clear.
Yeah, clear.
Yeah. Mariana, for many Cypriots building a career abroad, the thought of returning back home comes usually with mixed emotions, blend of nostalgia, opportunity, and of course uncertainty. What would you say to Cypriots abroad who are considering returning but feel hesitant?
I will say that your hesitation is completely valid because we all have been there and we felt exactly the same. And moving again is not a small decision, It's something that needs a lot of preparation. But I will tell you that Cyprus today is not the Cyprus that you left, guys. It's completely different. So when you will plan to come back, I'm sure that the companies that you will decide to work, they will support you because they have the infrastructure, they have the ecosystem to do that. And mindsets are shifting and we are moving towards a more modern leadership. As Mr. Christodoulides said, we are more open to consider your fears, to consider how you want to live. So we said before, we are active listeners and we are accommodate the needs of the people. So I think this is the right time because there is a momentum, there is huge opportunities, employment opportunities on the island, and there is a high demand of fresh ideas and global perspectives and experiences that you're all having. So Cyprus is not just a home, like you are home. It can be, and it's becoming, an employer of choice, a country that you can choose to work and to thrive professionally. So it's time to return back.
Exactly.
I think the President will be very happy with your speech.
Bringing us now to your question, what are the advantages of raising a family in Cyprus? How did these factors influence your decision to relocate and bring your family in Cyprus?
First of all, I again have to deviate a little bit from your question to highlight the following. Working in what we do, and although we're smaller than Blackstone or Apollo or JP Morgan, and a lot of you guys who are in the city work there or want to work there, we do offer very similar characteristics in terms of professionalism, very hard work. I keep on joking with our legal counsel when I see her leaving the office around 7, I turn and say, oh, half a day today. It doesn't mean that by coming to Cyprus you just have a nice lifestyle and life balance. But what you do get, you get the ability to enjoy with the hours you have better things and better quality. Whether it's the climate, the environment, the weather, the friendship, the openness of people. Whether we like it or not, I was here 22 years. I don't know. I count in one finger how many English friends I have. So that kind of friendship philotimo that Cypriots do have, both professionally and personally. The life of honor, the life of doing the right thing is quite prevalent. So I think that all of that does help a lot in raising a family in Cyprus. It was not my decision. In fact, we kept both my kids were going to some quite good schools in the UK, and we kept our place for a year. But then, as people say, if you have your wife happy, wife happy life. So she enjoyed going back and not being a taxi driver, taking them to Barnes and to Latimer in West London and drive for hours. Everything's so much easier, and it's so much. Education is great. I think there are things to be done, of course, to further improve education, and overall the lifestyle is phenomenal. So on that front, I think the whole family is happy, and then that helps me. Plus, the last thing, for those who are married and there is some challenges in raising kids because one has to stay behind and support, that can be easily overcome in Cyprus because you have that ecosystem that supports you. And that's whether it's grandparents or other friends, so that's actually quite valuable as well. And that again helps the family, especially if both parents are career driven and they want to work.
I agree. As we conclude, I hope today's discussion encourages continued dialogue and commitment from both the government and the private sectors to create the conditions necessary for more of our professionals abroad to envision a future in our country, in Cyprus. Thank you to our esteemed speakers for sharing your journeys with honesty, depth and inspiration. Let us see brain gain not as a trend, but as a concrete strategy, Mr. President, and more importantly, as a responsibility to the generations ahead. Thank you.
I would like to thank our panelists for sharing their exciting journeys. Their stories have shown us not only the opportunities that could potentially materialize from returning back home, but the incredible impact we can make when we channel out energy, innovation, and ambition back home. Thank you to our speakers, and as we wrap up the first part of the event, I want to extend a sincere thank you to all of you, our speakers, panelists, organizers, guests, and to the more than 2,000 people who joined online for making this event so special. A huge thank you to His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Cyprus, Mr. Nikos Christodoulides, for his inspiring vision and leadership in driving the Minds in Cyprus initiative forward and for launching this fantastic initiative with us here in the UK. We now invite you to join us to the networking reception. This is your opportunity to meet and connect with the representative firms from Cyprus who are keen to find out about your journeys, exchange ideas, and help you explore what your next chapter might look like in Cyprus. Enjoy the reception, make meaningful connections, and thank you again so much for being with us this evening.